It's so good to see your smiley face.
I do a lot of smiling. This is the new normal, people filming in their homes.
Yes, it's all good.
You're feeling it's all good? Now, okay, so your launch has
Yes.
just been cancelled and we're not crying, we're smiling.
Well,
Through the
look,
tears.
yeah, look, it is what it is. I mean, I had another cancellation yesterday for another event that was coming up. And, so that was five within 24 hours. But, I was sort of expecting it. So it is what it is. I mean, look, to be honest, I'm pretty good with promoting on social media anyway, because I sort of had to be last time around for small spaces as well, because my dad passed away, like right around the launch time of that book. So I wasn't able to really I wasn't up for doing any events or interviews, and I didn't really go into any bookshops or anything like that. So I just had to do pretty much most of the stuff online. But I did get to have a launch party last time, and that was awesome. And I was hoping to do the same thing this time, because, the same store, the same sort of setup. They were really supportive at readings in St Kilda. It was really fun, but it's, it is what it is, and I'm still going to do something online, and I know everyone's going to rally around and support all of us that have books, that are coming out, and it's more, I feel more for debut authors such as yourself, because it is nice for you to have, a celebration of all your hard work and everything. So I hope you still manage to do something in some way.
I think. But would you have had a cake? What kind of cake would you have had?
Well, I would have had cupcakes. I have a local cupcake maker. She does beautiful stuff, and I probably would have, local as in literally just a couple of streets away from me, and she made some beautiful little cupcakes that I had at my Small Spaces launch. And then I also had some gluten-free macarons, which were beautiful as well. And so this time I would have had some cupcakes and some M&Ms, and, but look,
the M&Ms in the beautiful with the colours that matched.
I'm eating all those now.
I was going to say, did you hand select the M&Ms, or
I did.
did you have them? Do you get M&Ms made?
So, well, we had a couple of parties in the lead up to actually, March is our birthday month in our house, and so my son had a slumber party and things like that. So I thought, well, what I'll do, and then we had my husband's birthday, and we had M&Ms and ice cream cake. So I actually separated all the colours just from regular bags of M&Ms, wearing gloves, and we actually, I did, and that was before all this craziness as well.
That would have been before sanitizer took over the world.
I mean, you have to anyway. But so I had my little plastic gloves on, and I did all that, and we ate. The kids ate a bunch of them at the sleepover. We had a bunch of them for my husband's birthday, and then all the rest of them I just divvied up into these cute little bags. And then I thought,
that's so cute.
Yeah, I can't really send those out now. No one's really going to want food from somebody else during this time. So I'm just working my way through them. That's okay.
That's amazing. And then whenever you see an author's done like something really quirky and cool and different, and you think, I want to do the same thing, but it doesn't work. Like if you do the same thing, it's no longer quirky and fun and new.
I reckon it's fine. I mean, it's like now, it's just expected that you go to a book launch and you have cake, because, and if you didn't have cake, everyone would go, oh, where's the cake?
Where's the cake?
Or if it's just cupcakes or anything, just some little sweet thing, but it's kind of the done thing now. But I think it's okay. I mean, look, you don't have to have anything specifically to promote yourself, because at the end of the day, people just want your book. And I have a background in design, and so before that, since then, I've also had a background in kind of party styling and invitations as well for kids. So that was kind of my two different core businesses leading up to me going writing full time. So for me, it's just second nature to kind of cater in this way, and pretty
and it's
everything
fun.
up.
It gives you joy.
It does. It gives me,
sparks
and
joy.
helps use up some of that kind of nervous energy, and it makes me feel like I'm
Yeah.
actively doing something. So
Yeah.
now what I'll do is I'll look at putting together some, you know, some bookmarks and some stickers and some badges and things like that. And I would have handed them out at the launch. And so what I'll do instead is, you know, hopefully post them out to people who pre-order the book, or, you know, or order it on launch day or something like that. And
Yeah.
just the money that I would have spent on perhaps catering for a physical launch, I can now use that in a different way. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, look, there's ways of doing things, isn't there? We've just got to use our ingenuity and our creativity.
We will. And
Yeah.
I'll edit this out if it goes badly, but we're hoping for the new launch site, this, you know, lockdown launches, YA,
Yep.
everything. We didn't know if you'd want to be a guinea pig on that.
Oh, look, I'd love to. Look, I'm definitely keen, because at this point, I have very luckily been inundated with goodwill since, you know, I mentioned that all my events have been cancelled, and now I'm a little bit overwhelmed, and I'm looking at my emails going, yeah, I've got to answer all these. So, you know, it's great. I've got interview questions, and I've got, you know, even Readings has been really supportive too, wanting to put something up on their website. And then, you know, there's offers like this, and people who I was going to sort of hopefully see in real life, I'll now chat to them via online and things like that. So I'm sort of now wading through all these wonderful offers, and I will get to everything at the same time, thinking, how am I going to do this virtual launch? But at the end of the day as well, I just want to try and get the word out there about the book to reach people as well, sort of a little bit further out of the community, or on different social media to like...
That's it. Like YouTube's one that there's just, I don't know if there's enough of actual authors on YouTube. We see a lot of vloggers and we see a lot of reviews, but actual writers speaking.
Yep.
I found it hard to find, because I was looking for an example to see what I could do with this sort of idea, and it was tricky. It was actually hard to find.
Yeah.
So there'll be more of us now.
Well, this is awesome. And, you know, that's the thing, is there's a lot of people who are, you know, kind of living in regional areas as well, or there's a lot of teenagers. Like originally, even before I was going to have a launch party, I actually said to my publisher and my editor, I'm toying with the idea about having a virtual launch, you know, like famous last words, because I said, you know, just to do something a bit different, because I'd like to reach more teenagers, because a lot of teenagers can't make it to the YA launches because they're dependent on their parents of getting them there, or if they're not close to public transport. And so I thought, oh, maybe I'll try and do some kind of virtual launch, or maybe I'll do something like that as well, because there's so many people that live in different cities and, you know, regional and rural areas that would love to be a part of it all. So this is, in a way, has now worked out that that's what's going to happen. So they're all going, yes, because all this stuff they can now be involved with, which is really good. So it's just getting our head around that and figuring out what's the best way to do it. And with book launches, it's true. I mean, I've had friends who, with the best of intentions, had RSVP'd to My Small Spaces launch and wanted to get there, lived only 20 minutes away from it, but for whatever reason, they just lost confidence or energy or anything on the day and couldn't make it. And it is a shame. And so this sort of thing is wonderful for people who just aren't into that sort of thing, aren't into crowds. It's just, you know, it's just going to exert too much energy for them. They're just not in the right mental place. So yeah, I think, but look, we will prevail. And, you know, at the moment, there's just so much goodwill online. And I think bookshops will be, I really hope everyone takes advantage of all this home delivery, because
it's free home delivery at Avid as well. And people are driving books out. So one of the bookstores, I think it was down south, they're actually driving them to anyone in quarantine and leaving them, you know, in a safe place. But a part of me hopes there's a huge sales spike, that it's actually a really good thing. You know?
I hope so, because I mean, reading is, you know, it's the perfect thing. And I wanted to show you something, because I haven't done anything about this yet, but I've got my box of author copies here.
Oh, that's so exciting.
And have you got yours yet?
No.
So look, so I haven't even Look, here it is. I haven't even made a video or anything yet. So I've
now
got...
you have. Now you have. I
Yay,
got
I
it.
have.
I got it.
So you got the exclusive.
They're gorgeous.
Yeah,
Look.
so it's all it's very pretty. I actually love,
Oh,
I'll put it this side so it doesn't flare too much. And
gorgeous.
I actually love the back as well, the beautiful colours.
Look at the colours.
Yeah, it's gorgeous, and yeah, a bit of colour.
Oh, that's going to look really, oh, sorry, I hit my microphone. That's going to look really good on my shelf.
Oh, good. That's the main thing. You can read it too if you like.
Oh, I guess so.
I know it's aesthetically pleasing.
I can see small spaces through here. And I can't film by my bookshelf. It's driving me bonkers because the colours are gorgeous when you put them next to each other.
Yeah.
And what's the spine?
So
show me the spine.
The spine is like, yeah.
Ah, I love the greens and blues.
Yeah. So yeah, it's really exciting to get it. So hopefully you will get yours very soon because, I mean, I suppose I got these probably about, it was probably the end of last week, I think. So what's that, about 3 weeks out?
Okay.
So you
and because your official release date is
1st of April or 31st of March. Yeah. So,
so I'm
thereabouts.
Yeah, 4 weeks. So I'm 4 weeks behind you because I was 28th of April.
Okay.
It's very handy because I get to see
so probably first week of April or something you might get them. So yeah, and it is exciting. Wow. Like I thought, like I saw the box, it got delivered, and well, I had a notification that something was coming from Australia Post, and I thought, oh, this will be my author copies. And this was about a week before the actual box came. And when the box arrived, it was small, and I went, oh, what's that? That's not what I was expecting. And so it turned out it was these. It was bookmarks.
Oh, look. Oh, that is so.
Yeah. So these were cool. So these were from.
Oh, I should pretend I'm looking in the camera. Sorry, everyone.
It's okay.
It's like, I'll pretend I'm looking here, but actually she's down there. They are gorgeous.
Yeah, so those arrived, and then I got all excited and then went, oh no, it's not the author copies. And so luckily the author copies arrived just in time before I went to YA Day, which was last Saturday, which was like the last event that we all got to do. And so I was able to have a copy that I could give away then. And luckily the bookseller at the event had some early copies of Deepwater, so they were able to, people on the day were able to buy it. So that was exciting because now it feels like it's actually out there, so all that anticipation amazing. And everything, people now have it in their hands.
Actually reading it, and you start seeing some reviews coming in that we won't read because we're all very good like that, except that we will because we're naughty. But
I read them. I've always read all my reviews, and the thing is, you can read them, but and you can be upset by them too if you want to, if they're stinkers, but just don't respond. Just don't respond. And don't subtweet about them. I mean, look, sometimes I generally make a comment, and it's not at any one person, and it's just more of a humorous kind of an aside, where, you get a review where someone says, like, I'd probably really enjoy this if I was actually a teenager. And it's, you get these all the time and you think, okay, but
I think you're allowed to subtweet about
write it for teenagers, but you get those and you just have a little chuckle, and you don't call anyone out or anything like that, but it's okay to read your reviews because there's some absolute gems in there, and it can make your day when you read a good review, and especially when it's from a teenager who gets everything that you have done in that book when they get it, and you just think, see, that's why I wrote this book, and that's why I'm writing this next one, and it just gives you a nice energy lift, so don't feel like you can't go to Goodreads and read reviews, because you can just don't respond to the
just
the
keep
ones.
Keep my brain about me as I'm doing it.
And it's all, subjective, highly subjective opinions.
It is.
And, the other thing is that what one person gets, another person won't get at all. And so, you'll read that review and you feel almost like you want to explain to them. But I outlined that on chapter 20, in chapter 20, but you can't say anything. So it's just that helplessness. No. And that's when you think, I'll back away now. I won't, let's just close Goodreads now. But, generally the people who've written a lovely review will often tag you in a review on social media. So you get to read it. Sometimes you get
Thanks.
tagged in a bad one, but you know, you just have to pretend you haven't seen it, you know.
Yeah, just politely ignore.
Yeah.
I don't know how I would have done this journey without you. I'm so glad. And I know you came to Alan and Unwin, and I know that's my excuse for having reached out to you a while ago. But honestly, the amount of times that I have messaged you, oh no, I'm going to get emotional.
Oh gosh.
The amount of time, this happens at the weirdest moments to me. But the amount of times I've messaged you in a complete pink fit, having no idea what I am doing. And you've always got like the most amazing advice and experience, and you share it freely, and I really appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome. Gosh, well, I'm here to, you know, I'm just happy to answer questions because, you know, like what my journeys might not be the same as everybody's as well, but it's what is keeping me sane is just to be, you know, practical, down to earth about everything. And if I can share any of that with anyone, because it's been imparted to me as well. So I've been able to, I've had really, really wonderful support from other Love Oz YA authors as well that I've been able to reach out to.
People.
And you just keep paying it forward. And, you know, everybody is happy to chat to you. And that's the thing, just because we can't necessarily talk about things online publicly because we all have to be careful and we don't want to offend anybody, including our publishing houses or anything.
Yeah.
But in terms of everybody will readily share their experience, you know, privately.
So nice. Yeah. And it's a bit like, and I'm in Brisbane, it's hard to kind of, a lot of people being down south, I can't say, oh, do you want to meet up for a coffee? Could we, you know, you can't really join the group of Love Oz YA that are down there in that way. But to have that, I get the same feeling online from everyone that it's like you've all sort of said, basically, you know, everyone's been so nice, and it's a little bit like you've all gone to the coffee shop and people have said, it's okay, you can expect this, or actually that means that, when I've said, you know, I don't know what this means.
I know.
It's like someone
I'm still Googling
okay.
terms and things all the time, you know, and I think, what does this mean? You know, like I have no idea. And then you can, you know, for me, like we are so lucky that we are doing this in the age of social media and chat platforms and things, because when I first started writing was probably, okay, so I can date it back to when my oldest, who's now about to turn 15, when he was around about like 6 months old to a year old, is when I thought I'm going to start writing. So 14 years ago. And back then there were hardly any, I mean, was I still using dial-up back then? I can't even remember. No, maybe not. Maybe I might have had ADSL back then, but it feels like I'm ancient, but there was no one on social media. There was like people were, I think, were just sort of starting to use Facebook. So this was 2005, 2006. No Twitter, or maybe Twitter, I don't know, did Twitter exist? I didn't use it till I think about 2012. But yeah, so the only writing forums I can find, I couldn't find any Australian ones. I found some American ones, and I found this kidlit one called the Blue Boards, which has now been folded into the Squibby, the Society of Children's Book Writers and Illustrators forum. And I would chat to a lot of people on there about querying and agents, and it was very America-centric. So there was not a lot of information that really helped Australians, but there was a tiny little Australian forum, like a little page in there for Aussies, and there was about 6 of us. And one of them was Bren McDibble. That's how I met Bren.
That's so good.
And Julie Murphy, who does kids nonfiction picture books and things. And then, a couple more. Sky Melky Wagner, is that her name? I'm sorry, Sky, if I've got your surname mixed up. She writes YA fantasy, Australian. And so we used to chat a little bit in there, but now we've got all these resources, and I'm loving it on Facebook. I'm in a few different writing groups on Facebook, and I love chatting to the Love Oz YA people on Twitter, and you know, even on Instagram. Instagram's a fantastic place. I love all that.
I'm getting there with
stuff.
Instagram. I'm getting there. It's so a funny one.
Good vibes on Instagram, you know.
Yeah.
If you follow the right people.
Yes. And I'm lucky because it kind of prioritizes stories for me. So I make sure I see all my own. It always
Yeah,
knows who I want to see, which is scary but lovely at the same
yeah.
time. So you
And
get to
with your
find it.
book coming out, you can really utilize, just the visual aspects of these social medias, because
Yeah.
people love a quick visual reminder of something. And don't they say, what's that age old thing about some people have to be exposed to something a certain number of times before they take action? And I don't
Yeah.
know if that's true any longer. It might be less now because we live in such a visual society and everything's online and we've always got our faces in things. But it doesn't hurt to just take a photo of your book, hold it up against the sky or something. If somebody is kind enough to take a photo, just regram their picture, retweet it, because
Yeah.
and make sure you tag them in or acknowledge their photo. And
Yeah.
it just generates so much goodwill, and it just pops you back into people's minds, because they're
Yeah.
inundated with so much, and they go, oh, that's right, I really wanted to read Peter Lyer's Reading Normal. So they'll go, oh, I'll go and add that to Goodreads right now. Or they might, spur of the moment, just do an online purchase then and there.
Thank
So
you so much for coming on. And I hope we chat again soon because we'll have to keep up to date with how your launching
yes.
journey is going.
Yeah, awesome. Well,
And
thank you for the chat,
yeah,
and I'm sorry it went so fast.
I know. See, again, we have to do it again.
So much to talk
Oh,
about. All right. Thank you,
okay.
Anna. All
Okay.
right. Bye.
Bye.
The number you have dialed has been changed.